We are looking at a cemetery, and particularly an old cemetery, because there are oddities to question about the purpose of it. Interestingly, before I get into that, I had originally wanted to talk about this building, a hospital. I remember this building looking like a fairy tale castle in my younger days growing up here in the 70s, and I was hoping to find any remaining signs still available on this building from the old world. But this visit got shortened after seeing not much besides its beautiful brickwork and designed entrance. They have done a pretty thorough job of defacing this whole building. Inside, they have a display of the so-called evolution of this hospital, but it doesn't add up in the photos compared to the actual positioning of the buildings. The main thing that reveals their false narrative is this smokestack. The photos don't include the smokestack until one shown for 2005, when much of the defacing had already been completed. I wonder why they've let this smokestack remain to this day. But back to the nearby cemetery. What struck me here was the stone walling. It was everywhere throughout this cemetery, and was even trailing off down a few other streets. Walling built for a cemetery, or the neighboring buildings such as Nazareth, with their sign added later on. The extensive walling was the old world evidence I had been looking for, and just the other day was reading about stone walls from the Book of Mormon, and specifically in the Book of Alma. Look at these images as I read a bit about the leader Moroni having walls be built to protect the people yet again from their attackers, the Lamanites. Moroni had been preparing the minds of the people to be faithful unto the Lord their God. He had been strengthening the armies of the Nephites and erecting small forts, throwing up banks of earth round about to enclose his armies, and also building walls of stone to encircle them round about their cities and borders of their lands. He did fortify and strengthen the land which was possessed by the Nephites to support their liberty, their lands, their wives, children, and peace, that they might live unto the Lord their God, and that they might maintain that which was called by their enemies the cause of Christians. The walling was impressive, and I've seen a few other similar walls in different parts of this city. But in this cemetery, other things stood out. How about steps to nowhere? A name on a step. This says Whipple. And a name on a stone just put on a wall. Then there were isolated gravestones, damaged ones, and lined up ones. Some from the 1800s had no readable writing, and some did. Okay, some of this sounds normal for old cemeteries, but then how about these stones? Circular granite objects on different colored bases. The circular part looks like a broken column just put on top, and then a name added to fit the stage they have set for us to believe. Then we get to a monument, a big remaining stone structure that wasn't destroyed, so they used one of their repeated techniques of turning it into a memorial for veterans. They know we can get emotional about war, so they use that approach, and then add an honorary saying to help distract us, rather than taking time to contemplate, did they really need such a huge stone for another memorial? Or is this part of something bigger that's underneath? I don't doubt there are old bones and bodies buried in this cemetery, for veterans and normal folks. There was even a funeral going on while I was there. But these stones were also part of something more that is still underneath this land. And if you sense it too, then the veil of illusion is lifting for you to see through the satanic lies throughout our history. One more final focus is bricks. See how well positioned these bricks are? This lone brick must have weighed at least 10 pounds and seems like it was made to last a long time for the road that used to be here. Much has been covered by asphalt now. Our world is not what we've been taught and is being erased by deceivers, so look with new eyes to break through the veil of illusion.